Before fame fully claimed him, Tom Cruise experienced the tender vulnerability of first love with Melissa Gilbert, the star of Little House on the Prairie. In the early 1980s, when both were navigating the precarious early stages of their Hollywood careers, they met at a small gathering. Tom, then only 18, carried the weight of a childhood filled with frequent moves, family challenges, and an intense desire to prove himself. Melissa, slightly older, had her own experiences of growing up in the spotlight and understood the subtle loneliness that often accompanies ambition. Their first conversations were not about fame or ambition, but about their personal stories, dreams, and insecurities. Tom spoke openly about his upbringing, the struggles of finding connection, and the hopes he carried for the future, and Melissa listened with care. Over time, their interactions evolved from simple dinners to late-night conversations about life, ambition, and the emotional complexities of Hollywood. Tom's love was intense, sincere, and almost unguarded, a reflection of a young man longing for stability and emotional grounding. Melissa recognized his passion but also understood the limits of what she could offer. She wanted a partnership of equals, not the role of caretaker for the remnants of a turbulent childhood. When she gently ended the relationship, it left a lasting impression on Tom, teaching him early on that love, no matter how deep or heartfelt, requires timing, compatibility, and emotional readiness. Years later, both would recall the connection with fondness and wistful smiles, acknowledging that it had shaped his early understanding of love and intimacy, even if it could not endure. Exploring connection, Heather Law. Following his first serious teenage romance, Tom began to feel the encroachment of fame on his personal life. In the early 1980s, he met Heather Laurie, a rising star from the hit TV series Dynasty. Their relationship marked an important stage in his life, a period when Tom was learning to navigate romantic interest under public observation while testing his own emotional capacity. Heather first noticed him at an audition, drawn to his confidence, energy, and the subtle vulnerability behind his determined gaze. Their first date took place in a lively nightclub, a scene alive with music, lights, and excitement, where Tom, eager to entertain, performed a playful split reminiscent of his breakout role in Risky Business. Heather, amused and slightly embarrassed, watched as the young actor displayed both his exuberance and the underlying desire for recognition. Their courtship was brief but instructive, leaving Tom with the understanding that love requires not just passion, but patience, attentiveness, and the ability to balance personal expression with shared connection. Heather later remarked on his vitality, his emotional depth, and the loneliness he often struggled to communicate, noting that while their romance was fleeting, it left an enduring imprint on both their lives, shaping Tom's sense of how love could coexist with ambition and public attention. First real heartache, Rebecca De Mornay. As Tom's career gained momentum, particularly after Risky Business in 1983, he met Rebecca De Mornay during the film's production. Unlike previous relationships, this romance introduced a more mature, emotionally significant connection, while also illuminating the challenges of balancing love with burgeoning fame. Rebecca, already an established actress, recognized the emotional intensity and ambition in Tom, as well as the lingering vulnerabilities rooted in his early life experiences. Their connection was immediate, and for the first time, Tom felt he could share private thoughts and fears openly. Yet the demands of work, geographical separation, and the rapid pace of Hollywood introduced inevitable strain. Sweet moments, walking together in London, sharing quiet cafes, and exchanging reflections on career and life, were shadowed by the practical realities of his rising celebrity. Rebecca observed the tension between his desire for closeness and his hesitation to fully commit, a reflection of the internal contradictions shaped by his childhood and sudden fame. Their relationship ended with regret rather than conflict, leaving Tom with profound lessons about the interplay between career, personal growth, and emotional intimacy, and highlighting that love often requires navigating forces beyond the heart alone. Learning through passion, Cher following. Rebecca, Tom experienced a relationship with the artist and musician Cher, a connection that underscored both the vibrancy and loneliness of his emotional life. Though separated by age, their relationship revealed the depth of Tom's longing for genuine connection. Cher described him as intensely private beneath his public persona, a man whose on-screen confidence masked an inner sensitivity and yearning for affection. Their romance, though not long-lasting, illuminated the recurring challenges Tom faced, the difficulty of establishing a stable emotional home amid fame, and the persistent tension between desire for love and the pressure of public attention. Cher's reflections highlighted the enduring effect of his formative experiences, showing that even as a successful actor, Tom carried with him the echoes of a childhood where acceptance had to be earned rather than freely given. A pivotal bond. Mimi Rogers. The mid-1980s brought a transformative chapter in Tom's emotional and spiritual life through his relationship with Mimi Rogers. Mimi, 6 years his senior, was already an established actress with her own career and perspective. Their connection transcended romance, touching on emotional support, personal growth, and spiritual exploration. Mimi introduced Tom to the Church of Scientology, a spiritual framework that would profoundly influence his personal and professional trajectory. Their marriage in May 1987, conducted quietly and personally, reflected the deep bond they shared, a relationship built on mutual understanding, emotional honesty, and shared exploration of purpose. For Tom, Mimi represented both romantic affection and a stabilizing influence, helping him channel ambition while attending to his emotional and spiritual development. Though the marriage ended in 1990 as Tom's spiritual path evolved, its impact on his approach to relationships, self-understanding, and personal values was enduring, setting the foundation for his future decisions in love and life. A Hollywood partnership, Nicole Kidman. Following his divorce from Mimi, Tom married Nicole Kidman on Christmas Eve 1990, entering one of the most publicly observed phases of his life. Both actors were among Hollywood's most prominent figures, and their union captured global attention as a combination of talent, ambition, and emotional seeking. Their marriage reflected mutual aspirations for love, family, and stability, as both had experienced challenging childhoods. Together, they co-starred in films such as Far and Away and Eyes Wide Shut, and adopted 2 children, Isabella and Connor. Behind the celebrated image, however, the realities of differing beliefs, career pressures, and the demands of public life created stress and distance. Tom's deep involvement with Scientology and the couple's need to navigate public perception contributed to challenges that required constant compromise. Ultimately, their divorce in 2001 reflected the divergence of personal paths rather than a lack of affection. The experience reinforced Tom's understanding of the complex interplay between love, family, and individual growth, highlighting the delicate balance required to sustain personal happiness in the public eye. The deepest connection. Suri Cruise. Throughout Tom's journey of love and heartbreak, the most profound and enduring bond has been with his daughter, Suri. She represents not only the continuity of family, but also the embodiment of unconditional love. Through Suri, Tom has confronted the realities of responsibility, emotional presence, and the personal costs of a high-profile career. While romantic relationships came and went, often shaped by timing, circumstances, and external pressures, the connection with Suri has remained constant, offering him both grounding and purpose. This bond reveals a dimension of Tom's life that transcends fame, the human capacity to love, nurture, and prioritize family above all else. In many ways, Suri embodies the lessons of resilience, compassion, and commitment that Tom has carried through his personal journey. Reflections on love and life. Looking back on Tom Cruise's life, a pattern emerges that combines brilliance, ambition, and deeply human vulnerability. Early loves with Melissa Gilbert and Heather Law taught him about passion, patience, and the balance of personal connection with growing fame. Relationships with Rebecca De Mornay and Cher revealed the continuing influence of childhood experiences on his emotional life. His marriages to Mimi Rogers and Nicole Kidman emphasized the importance of compatibility, shared growth, and spiritual alignment. Connections with Penelope Cruz and Katie Holmes highlighted the impact of public scrutiny and media attention on intimacy, while fatherhood with Suri has become the most stable and meaningful relationship of all. Through these experiences, Tom has navigated the tension between career, personal desire, and the pursuit of emotional fulfillment, learning that genuine connection often requires courage, compromise, and self-awareness. His journey illustrates that even the most iconic figures experience the same struggles, joys, and lessons of the human heart, reminding us that love, in all its forms, is both transformative and enduring.